Kaixo, Egunon, buenos días a todas. Hoy nos tomamos un café con el director de la película Värn, una película que compite en la sección Ni Directors por el premio Cuchabank Ni Directors y por el premio Dama de la Juventud. Y hoy tenemos aquí con nosotras al director de la película, John Skoog. I say it right. Hi, and happy to have you here and to be watching the film here at the festival. I would like to start from the beginning of the project for you. When did you decide that you wanted to do this film, and why?
So it's I guess like with every film it's a long story, but I'll try to make it
No,
short.
okay,
Otherwise I'll just spend the whole time on this question. But it started actually with that. I mean, it started when I was a kid. I knew this story from growing up. This man called Göran, and his strange building was something me and my parents would go and visit during on a Sunday, as a Sunday excursion. So it's something I know from childhood, and it was always maybe it's important to say that there's really, I don't know, maybe it's good to introduce what it's about. But this man called Göran, he was a farmer that after the Second World War the Swedish state sent out this little pamphlet, and that gave advice to the Swedish population what would happen, like what to do if war came, and a kind of prepper manual in a way. And he took it so much to heart that he started building this fort for himself and for his neighbors. And he was really worried that Soviet would invade Sweden. But he didn't have any money because he worked as a farm worker, day laborer, I guess is you don't have a steady job, but you work on the farms when it's season. And the way he built it was that he gathered scrap metal, anything he could find, and used it as enforcement for the concrete when casting new concrete walls, creating this monster bunker. And he died in 1975, and then the farmer next to his house thought, okay, I buy this land, and then I have this little bit. Then I can remove his house, and then I have a big field And then he got this dynamite expert, or removal, what is it called, deconstruction expert, to come and look at it. And he was like, you have to use this land for 300 years for it to make economical sense to remove this. So this farmer was a practical man, so he just kind of made it into one big field. So now it's standing in the middle of the field around, and it's just fields all around. So we would drive there, and you never, it was hard to find also always, do you take right here or here or here? And then it was before GPS or Google Maps, so you had to kind of stop at somewhere and ask. And then there was, of course, with a place like this, there was always all these anecdotes about him. So there was this strange mix of these anecdotes about this man, how strong he was and how kind he was to children, and how he sang in church or blah blah blah. That was somehow with us when we also climbed around this strange bunker concrete fort. So that was the really beginning in the 1990s, and then I studied art, and I did a lot of museum exhibitions and so on before, and gallery exhibitions. And for one, we decided to make a film, or a short film, a video piece and installation around this story about Carl. And then I interviewed a lot of people about him, and that was maybe in 2013, 14. And we immediately, both me and the cinematographer and Ita Spraniak, when we started reading all these stories, we were like, wow, this is really powerful. There's really powerful images here. And that film was just like a really slow scanning of one kind of tracking shot around the house, and then small kind of anecdotes or fragments of stories from his life on the voiceover. But then we thought, oh, maybe you could at some point make a longer film, and we were somehow this fascination or haunting of this man, and these images kept returning to us also, maybe because of the political climate and the apocalypse that we're approaching, or at least the kind of general paranoia of today. And that is, of course, getting worse and worse. And yeah, anyway, if you compare to 2013, 14, and now. So, but there was one problem, and that was who should play this man. Like and we, should we find an amateur? And Eric, the producer, Erik Hemmendorf, we also discussed like who could do this. It would, like, thinking about all these kind of more famous Swedish actors, it would just be ridiculous somehow. And then at some point, I think like during Corona or like around that time, like 2020, there was this idea, maybe almost first like a joke, like maybe Denis Lavant could do this. And then Eric said, yeah, it will be fun to look at if Denis does this. And then that's a good start maybe.
No, but I think that we can go into that. Like, he came to the project and did he? I mean, how did you guys work with him, and did he embrace it, and what did he bring to the character?
Yeah, it was also maybe important. Like I didn't want to write the script before. He kind of said not yes, but like somehow. So when I wrote him, we got his email through like a kind of back channel, and then I wrote this long email sending the film and sending like the short film and sending a lot of pictures from the fort, and like writing my kind of what I said before, like, but a little bit more why I was interested and why I thought he could fit. And then I was waiting for the answer, and and then it was like, it came a short answer like, "Dear John, thank you for email. Can you please write in French?" And then my friend my friend Fabrice translated it to French, and then a few days afterwards again it came like, "Dear John, I would like to take part of this adventure. Please let my agent know that we're, And then me and the other Kjetil, my friend, started writing a script.
Okay, so you didn't write the script until you had like...
No. There was no synopsis, no nothing. It was just a kind of description of, this is a film I want to do around this character. I would like to write it for you. Would you like me to write this for you? So he has really been part of it from the very, very beginning. Okay.
And how was the writing process? Did he...
Yeah, I mean, the writing process was actually... It was good. We started with I started by myself with all these interviews, and I just took out everything I found was like somehow all these images that I thought were strong, or all the and then we just put them on post-it notes. It was like a lot of post-it notes, and then I started like putting them together, and then Kjetil came, and it was funny. We were in Ingmar Bergman. We were on this writing residency in Ingmar Bergman's house on Fårö, and we decided, okay, but when the post-it notes is as long, because we were taping them together, when it's as long, so it can reach from the ceiling to the floor of Bergman's workroom, then we know that we can start writing. So that was like the goal, to get it that long, and then we just wrote the first draft of the script from these notes. But it was actually, I mean, obviously it's a film that is hard to write a script if you just write Karl-Göran builds his house one more time. It's not so interesting to read, so Kjetil especially really had to work on somehow. It became almost like literature, trying to describe why it's like evoke the interest, the kind of excitement of watching something grow. And that was a long process to figure out how to do that, and also all the funding requirements of 1 page, 1 minute, and it's a lot of things to live up to.
Yeah, of course. And I would like to talk a little bit about the cinematography of the film, because it's so powerful, and I would like you to tell us a little bit about how you thought about it, and obviously coming from the art world, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to say with Ita, the cinematographer, that it's a really like with all, I think not everyone, but it's really over this. We made our first short film in 2010 together, and I came then from studying art, and she came from this film school National Film School in Poland, in Łódź, and we started collaborating. So I also kind of learned making films together with her, and she was also still, I think she never graduated. She just stopped going to but somehow she was also on her way out of school, so it's also has been like forming a language together. So it's a little bit, it's a long process of, but of course this is very specific, and also to choose to shoot it on film and in black and white and so on was a a lot of discussion of what makes sense. But we knew was that we wanted to make it really like a physical experience and very textural experience to watch it, like that it really that you felt this I don't know what it interest is the wrong word, but like excitement about texture that also Karl-Göran somehow has. But it was but it's not that we were watching a lot of films that we take this or this, but it's more a kind of general intunement of forming a language together over working for a long time together.
That's right. Yeah. So yesterday it was the world premiere of the film here in San Sebastian. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about how was it and how do you feel about festivals and the place they have like in the journey of films nowadays?
Oh my God, that's a dangerous question.
No, but it's
I mean, the first part is easy. It was of course really amazing to watch it with an audience. Or of course, there's been test screenings like during the editing process and so on. But it's easy to forget. It's not so easy. Of course, you think about the whole time working on it. You think about how it's perceived or how it's felt when you're watching it. Like that's. But there's the moment of like actually being a couple of hundreds or two or whatever. This moment of being in the dark, just allowing light and darkness and sound to move you in one way or another together. Like you somehow forget that that's what it's all about when you're working on it. And so that was really yesterday. I was like, fuck, this is what it's about. Now it's happening. But so that was really amazing. And it's of course you don't really. I mean. You can do as many test screenings as you want, and you can even if you make other types of films, you can use as much algorithms and writers workshops and whatever like to make it think that it makes it works. But you never you don't know how it works until you do it, and a test screening is not the same. So but it worked. I think like it felt the concentration was there, and all these things that we had thought about it felt like it worked, and most of all, it felt that this how Denis formed this character of Karl-Göran, both as a kind of outsider or like something quite terrifying, but also something very lovable. I think that really very humane and non-cynical, which is really special today. I think that worked. So that felt really good. And of course, I'm completely empty and don't want to say anything because it's 10 hours after the world premiere. It's the first day of the rest of my life. So we see.
Yeah, so we'll leave it here then. Thank you very much, and we hope it goes well, the journey in general. Y ahora os dejamos con un pequeño clip de la película. Eskerrik asko.
Thank you.
2, 3, 4, 5